Katrina's point of view.
I sat on the hospital bed, gently holding my mother's hands in mine. She was asleep, looking so peaceful, so beautiful, like a sleeping princess. She was pregnant with my baby brother. Any minute now, she'd bring him into the world. My heart was full, watching her sleep. I kept rubbing her hands, soaking in the warmth of her skin. Suddenly, her eyes opened and she smiled at me. "Mom, did I wake you?" "No, sweetie," she said softly. "It's the contractions." "Does it hurt?" I asked, worried. "Do you feel okay?" She gave a faint smile, but her eyes told a different story. "Sweetheart, I feel very weak. I don't think I'll make it." My heart dropped. "No, don't say that. You're going to be fine, both of you." But she kept going, her voice trembling. "If something happens to me, if something happens to both of us, I want you to move to another city. Start a new life where no one knows you. And if your brother survives, take care of him for me." Tears fell from her eyes, and mine followed. "Mom, stop! You're scaring me. Nothing bad will happen." She just looked at me with so much pain and love. "I'm so worried about you, my baby girl. How will you live in a world that wants nothing to do with you?" "Don't worry about that," I told her quickly. "I have you, and Miss Olivier. I don't need anyone else." She winced suddenly. The pain hit her hard. She clutched her belly and told me to call the doctor. I screamed for help. Nurses rushed in with the doctor behind them. "Little girl, you have to leave now," one of the nurses said. "No, I can't leave her alone. Your mom will be okay. Let us do our job." I hesitated, but they dragged me out of the room. I heard the doctor inside encouraging her to push. I backed away and slumped onto the bench outside the room, trembling. "Please, God, don't take her. I need her." Then I heard a voice. "Miss Olivier." She ran to me and I threw myself into her arms. "Don't cry, child," she whispered. "Your mama is strong. She and the baby will be fine." "I want to believe that," I mumbled. "But I'm so scared." Then it happened. A baby's cry. We both gasped, hugging tighter, smiling with relief. A few minutes later, the doctor came out. "She had a baby boy," she said. I jumped up, hugging her. Thank you for saving my mom and my brother." But the doctor didn't look happy. Her expression was too serious. "Are you her daughter, Katrina?" "Yes, I'm Katrina." "I'm very sorry. We couldn't save your mother. She was too weak. She didn't make it." I collapsed onto the cold floor. No, that's not true. She said she'd be okay." "I'm sorry, little girl. She called your name a few times. Said she had something important to tell you, but she didn't make it." "Doctor, please, you're lying. You're supposed to save her." The doctor's voice turned hard. "I know it hurts, but you're not a child anymore. You'll need to care for your baby brother. If you can't, the hospital will place him in an orphanage." Then she walked away, just like that. Heartless. I stayed on the floor, crushed, sobbing until Miss Olivier knelt beside me and hugged me tightly. "Don't worry," she whispered. "They're not taking your brother anywhere. We'll take him home, and I'll help you raise him." My body shook with grief, but I held on to her words like they were the only thing keeping me alive. They took me to see my mother's body. "Mom, why did you leave me? Was I a bad daughter? Didn't you say we'd grow old together? That you'd hold my children in your arms?" I stood there screaming through my tears. "Answer me, Mama, please. Did you leave me because they call me a devil's daughter too?" Mom. I woke up with a sharp breath. "Katrina, are you okay?" Jaden's voice was right next to me. I sat up and immediately hugged him tightly. "You were crying in your sleep, calling your mom's name," he said gently. I hugged him tighter, holding on like I was falling off a cliff. "I won't ask you anything," he said, "not unless you want to talk. Just promise me you'll never leave me, and that you'll never call me a devil's daughter." He froze. "Why would I call you that? I would never." He wrapped his arms around me, strong and safe. I didn't care if I was squeezing him too tight. He didn't complain. But a throb of pain in my head made me pull away. My head, it hurts, I groaned. You passed out, he told me. What? How? I reached for my belly. My babies, did I hurt them? He shook his head. They're fine. Don't worry. Relief washed over me. I threw the blanket off and tried to stand, but pain shot through my shoulders. Jaden tried to help, but I shrugged him off. Are you still angry with me? He asked. I looked at him, stunned. You gave me this pain, Jaden. You. He stepped back, guilt on his face. I know. I lost control. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you or the babies. I believed him. His voice was too honest to ignore. I reached for my phone and tried to call Sandra. Who are you calling? It's late, Jaden asked. I'm calling Sandra to bring me food. I can't cook and I'm starving. She didn't pick up. She's probably asleep, I muttered. I'll make you something, Jaden offered. No, I don't want anything from you. He looked down but stayed calm. I know you hate me right now, but you have to eat, for the babies. You've been unconscious for hours. He paused. Katrina, there's something I want to ask you. But before he could say it, my phone rang. I saw the name and answered quickly. Miss Olivier, is everything okay? No, child. We're not okay. What happened? It's Adrien. His body couldn't wait any longer for the surgery. He's in the ICU. They're operating on him tomorrow. What? Why didn't anyone tell me? How is he now? He's stable, but he wants you with him. Talk to your bosses. Explain everything so they let you come. I looked straight at Jaden. I'll talk to him. I know he'll let me go. Can I talk to Adrien? Not now, child. He's asleep. Come tomorrow, okay? Yes, Miss Olivier. Good night. Katrina? She stopped me. Are you really okay? Yes, I'm fine. No, you're not. I know you too well. Something's wrong. You're just not telling me. Tears welled in my eyes. How could I explain to her that I was pregnant with twins? And in pain, because of the man right next to me? I just have a headache, I whispered. But I'll be fine. Okay, child. Don't get sick. I'm happy when you're fine. Don't work yourself to death because of your brother, okay? And when you're done with work, get a good rest. Eat your meals on time. Okay, Miss Olivier, I will do that. All right, child. See you tomorrow. And I love you. I love you too. I hung up the phone and burst into tears. What's wrong, Katrina? Jaden asked, concerned. Is something wrong with your brother? I nodded, wiping my tears. His body is weak, so he's getting surgery tomorrow. Jaden, tomorrow I want to go to the hospital. I have to be there with him. Okay, he said gently. I'll take you if that's what you want. I was surprised. I thought he'd tell me I hadn't recovered yet. But, he added, you have to eat something and get some sleep tonight. I'll take you in the morning and spend the whole day with your brother. I gave him my best smile. Thank you so much, Jaden. He smiled back, my favorite kind of smile, and we locked eyes for a moment before he cleared his throat. I'll go get you something to eat. You can't sleep on an empty stomach, he said. Okay, I'll be waiting, I said softly, watching him leave. A while later, he returned, holding a tray of food that smelled heavenly. Now sit comfortably and eat, he said. I leaned against the headboard and he positioned the tray table across my thighs. When I saw the food, creamy chicken pesto pasta, I gasped. Wow, this looks delicious. I didn't wait. I took a bite and melted. This is so delicious, I said, eyes closed in bliss. Did you cook this yourself or just order it? I didn't call anyone, he said. I made it myself, for you and the babies. My jaw dropped. Wow, I didn't know you could cook like this. Keep surprising me. The food was so good I couldn't put the fork down. Can you cook this for me again? It's so yummy, I said with my mouth full. Take it easy or you'll choke, he said, handing me a glass of water. After eating, I brushed my teeth and lay down. I asked him to spend the night with me. He hesitated at first, but agreed. We lay there close. The warmth between us melted the anger I had held earlier. Katrina, he whispered. Can I ask you something? Sure. He was quiet for a while, looking at me. When we were arguing, what did you... I waited. What is it? I asked gently. What do you want to ask? It's nothing. Let's sleep. It's late. Do you really just want to sleep? I teased. Yes, aren't you sleepy? No, not yet. Well, I'm sleepy, he mumbled. You're sleepy. Okay, let's sleep. He fell asleep almost immediately, soft snores escaping his lips. I stared at his perfect face. This man so handsome, like someone from the movies, only asterisk better asterisk. So natural, so close. I got the urge to slide my hand into his pants and wake him up, finish what we had started before. But he looked tired. He needed rest. Even if it was tempting. I sighed, stared at the ceiling, and counted sheep. 8 in the morning. I was already up and feeling better. Jaden's scent still lingered in the sheets. He smelled so good. I took a warm shower, packed a few things, and headed downstairs. I found Jaden in the car, talking on the phone. When he saw me, he smiled and hung up. Good morning. Good morning to you, I replied. How are your shoulders? He asked, his guilt still visible. All good. I opened the back door and sat in the back seat. Come sit in the front. I want to stay here. Katrina, don't argue with me. Sit in the front if you want me to take you to the hospital. With a sigh, I moved to the front seat. Happy now? He didn't answer. Then we saw Sandra rushing toward the car. I apologize, Alpha, for being late, she said breathlessly. Jaden just motioned for her to get in. You're coming with us? I asked, surprised. I thought you'd want her to come, Jaden said. You're so thoughtful, Jaden. Thank you. All right, let's go. We arrived at the hospital. Sandra and I got out while Jaden parked the car. Inside, Miss Olivier was waiting. I hugged her tightly. I rushed into my brother's room. Tears filled my eyes when I saw him, small machines attached to his little body. His eyes lit up when he saw me. Big sister, you came. Yes, baby. I came, I said, kissing his forehead. Are you staying with me today? Yes, baby. All day. Won't you get fired? No, I got permission. I'm staying. Really? Yes, and now I'm happy too. Big sister, I'm not a baby anymore. I'm 9. I laughed as he shook my hand. Okay. No more calling you baby after the surgery. His face fell. What's wrong? I asked. Big sister, am I going to leave you and Grandma like Mom did? My heart broke. No, baby. You're not going anywhere. You're strong, and you'll be fine. I'll be right here, okay? He nodded. I'm strong. I won't leave you or Grandma. That's my boy. I love you so much. The doctor entered. He's stable now, but he needs rest. The surgery is scheduled soon. Thank you, doctor. I kissed my brother and stepped out. Miss Olivier looked tired. Thank you for everything, Miss Olivier. You should go rest. She hesitated, but eventually agreed. As she turned to leave, she paused and studied me. Katrina, is there something you're not telling me? Like what? I asked, nervous. At the corner of my eye, I saw Jaden approaching. You've changed, gained weight. If I didn't know better, I'd say you're pregnant. I stayed quiet. She gave me a long look, grabbed her bag, and left. I walked up to Jaden. You can leave now. You've got work to do. I'll stay with Sandra. Did you tell your grandmother? No, I didn't want her to worry. And it's not a crime to be a surrogate. I did it to save my brother. I understand. You don't have to explain. He turned to go. Drive safe. He nodded and walked away, then suddenly stopped. He sniffed the air like a dog. What the hell, I thought. He turned and locked eyes with Sandra. She nodded. He broke the eye contact, walking off faster until he vanished. What was that? I asked Sandra. Katrina, don't leave my side. Not again, Sandra. I'm not a child. Just do as I said, she snapped. Her tone surprised me. When it was time for surgery, they wheeled my brother in. Miss Olivier had come back looking refreshed. 6 hours later, the doctors returned, with smiles. The operation was successful. Are you sure? Oh my God, thank you. Miss Olivier and I hugged each other with tears of joy. He'll be in the neonatal for a few days. Only one person should stay with him. I'm his grandmother. I'll stay, she said. Thank you so much, I whispered. They brought my brother out, still unconscious. You made it, baby. I'm so proud of you. I turned to Sandra. Let's go out and grab something. I'm starving now that my brother is out of danger. I gave Miss Olivier a hopeful look. Would you like me to get you something? No, child, I'm all set, she said warmly, her hand gently patting my shoulder. Outside the hospital, the air was still and the evening was quiet. There was a softness to the sky, the kind that felt like a sigh after a long, hard day. Thank you, Sandra, for being with me all this time. It's my duty, she replied simply. She hesitated, then asked, Why didn't you tell your grandmother you're pregnant? I looked away. It's a long story. I don't want to go into that right now. We reached the canteen and ordered what we wanted. Even though Miss Olivier had said no, I picked up something for her anyway. It felt wrong not to. On our way back as we turned a corner, 3 men suddenly stepped out and blocked our path. I froze. I knew them. They were the ones who kept coming to the house, lurking like shadows. I remembered Jaden telling me they weren't one of his. Something cold gripped my spine and I stumbled back. Sandra immediately stepped in front of me, her stance protective and unflinching. It was the most beautiful, selfless thing I'd seen her do. Don't touch her. Leave now, she said, her voice sharp and unwavering. I had never seen her like this before, fierce, ready to tear someone apart if they dared to cross the line. One of the men sneered. Be wise, little dog. Don't do anything stupid. We're in public. Before I could react, Sandra stopped moving. Completely. Like something in her had shut off. Sandra? I reached for her, shaking her arm. She didn't respond. Her body was stiff. Panic shot through me. Sandra, what are you doing? Stop it. Suddenly, a hand clamped over my mouth. Don't scream, princess. We're not going to kill you. The man's voice was low, almost amused. Not yet. Our king is waiting for you. Bring it. Before I could fight back, a cloth soaked in something cold and damp was pressed over my nose. The world started to tilt. My vision blurred. And then, darkness. Wake up, human. A deep voice echoed into my ears like thunder in a cave. My eyes opened slowly. Blurred shadows sharpened into faces. Them. The kidnappers. A crowd of men surrounded me. She's awake. Call the king, one of them said. I was on the cold floor, sitting on my butt, leaning against a rough, moldy wall. The room stank like rot and rat piss, like a forgotten storage closet. My stomach churned. What do you want from me? Why did you kidnap me? Do you have something against me? I threw the questions at them, but they ignored me, like I didn't exist. 10 minutes later, the door opened and a man walked in. Tall, confident, too handsome for the evil in his eyes. He looked around my Jaden's size and build, but there was nothing warm in his stare, just hunger. He examined me slowly. My skin crawled. Didn't know that Mutt liked black women. He crouched in front of me, eye level. His fingers reached for my face. I flinched and slapped his hand away. Don't touch me, you punk, he smirked. Brave little thing, huh? He sneered. I wonder what that dog saw in you. You're not even that beautiful. Don't call him a dog, I hissed through gritted teeth. He has a name. Oh, I know his name, he said with a grin. Didn't he tell you what he is, or was he scared you're too human to handle it? What do you want from me? I asked again, firmer this time. He stood up slowly. You'll find out soon. He snapped his fingers. Take her out. I wanted to scream, to fight, but I couldn't risk hurting the babies inside me. I bit my tongue and stayed still, letting them lift me. All men, all stronger than me, all monsters. Then the punk turned back to me, staring. Are you pregnant? The question caught me off guard. None of your business. Wrong answer, sweetheart, he said, stepping close, voice low and sinister. Because now that you're in my hands, it's very much my business. He leaned in, breath hot in my ear. That dog did a good job planting his seeds in you. Too bad he won't live to see them, because I'll be the father now. That was it. I kicked him in the balls with everything I had. His face twisted. He didn't scream, but the pain was there in his eyes. He stepped back. One of the men slapped me hard across the face. My head spun. Take her out of here. They carried me to another room, bigger, with basic furniture. Princess, the punk said mockingly, this is your new home. Behave, and maybe I'll upgrade you. What did you do to my friend, you punk? I spat. No response, just the sound of the door slamming shut behind them. I ran to the door, pounding and screaming, Open this door! Open it! No answer. I sank onto the narrow bed, hugging myself. Then, something crawled over my leg. I screamed and jumped. A rat. It squeaked and disappeared. Panicking, I ran for the door again, but I tripped and fell hard, landing on my belly. Pain exploded through me. My babies, I gasped, crying, please, someone help me. I threw my shoes, one, then the other, at the door, at the wall, I didn't even know. Finally, it opened. A man stormed in and gripped my jaw, forcing my mouth shut. Don't make a sound, human, he growled. If it wasn't for our king, you'd already be dead. You and your cursed baby are going to pay for what your little mutt did to our king. His breath stank so badly, I nearly threw up in his face. I wanted to. Instead, I spat on him. I told you to stop calling him a dog. Another slap, then a brutal kick to my stomach. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I felt something warm between my legs. Blood, so much blood. What did I do to deserve this? I whispered. My voice was too weak, my body too broken. I blacked out. Catriona, Catriona? A voice called me from the darkness. I followed it. Blood was flowing down my legs. No, not my babies, I cried. Then I saw them, two little shadows holding hands. Toddlers. My babies. Mommy, they said in unison, we're safe. It wasn't time for us yet, but we'll be okay. Tears spilt from my eyes. I didn't want to let go. Another voice echoed, louder and angrier. Catriona, my girl, don't cry. I'll make them pay, with death. A giant snake slithered in the direction of my prison. Honey, what are you doing here? I turned. My mom, she stood there, so real. Mom, you don't belong here. Go back. Then she vanished in smoke. I reached for her, but no words came out. Cold water slapped my face. I winced, the belly pain stabbing again. That punk was watching me with confusion. How could a man do this to a pregnant woman? I croaked. He looked away. You wouldn't understand. I don't hate you. I hate your baby daddy. What did he do to you? I asked. Please take me to the hospital, please. He hesitated. Then, take her to the main house. They dragged me into a dark mansion, all black, cold. A woman in her late 60s came and crouched beside me. She touched my belly. I screamed. The pain flared. What's wrong with her? The punk asked. She's not responding to my healing, the woman said, fear in her voice. She can't be healed. You're a witch. Heal her, he snapped. She looked me in the eye and stepped back, horrified. King, we need to talk. They left me there, alone, in agony. I saw light from a window and crawled toward it. Then, where do you think you're going, human? Another ugly bastard. He grabbed me by the hair. You're going to die here. No one's saving you, not even your mutt. I clenched my teeth, feeling the blood, the pain, the grief. My babies, they were gone. I knew it. And then, I saw it. The snake. It came out of nowhere and lunged at him, sank its fangs into his neck. His eyes changed color. Then it crushed him, snapped his spine in half like a twig. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. The others rushed in. What happened? They stared at the body, but not like I did. They couldn't see what I saw. And when I locked eyes with the snake again, it hissed in a language I'd never heard before. But somehow I understood every word. I peed myself. This was no nightmare. This was my fate. If I can't run from it, then I have to face it, stand still and wait for its strike. But instead of an attack, I heard it speak. Don't be afraid, our girl. We would never harm you. I will hurt those who hurt you. I will bring pain to anything that brings you pain. Its voice was low, almost like a whisper inside my skull, deep, ancient, and terrifyingly gentle. Then its eyes dropped to my belly. It lowered its head and exhaled against me. The breath that left its mouth wasn't just air. It was a soundless echo, heavy and hot like something not meant for this world. And just like that, the pain vanished. Gone. I gasped, pressing my trembling fingers to my stomach. I squeezed lightly, searching for any ache, any trace of the agony I'd felt seconds before. The pain, it's gone, I whispered, half in disbelief, half in awe. But when I looked up again, the snake was no longer there.
Jaden's point of view.
I was in a late meeting with important people when Sandra barged in. She looked worn out and scared. Alpha, it's Katrina. I dismissed the meeting and walked to a frightened Sandra. What's wrong with Katrina? Is something wrong with her brother? No, Alpha, it's not about her brother. She's been kidnapped by the vampires, she said with a trembling voice. What nonsense are you talking about? What do you mean she's been kidnapped? And where were you? Were you not supposed to stay inside by her side and protect her? That was the only aim I gave you, Sandra, to protect her from danger. What were you doing when she got kidnapped? Were you just watching them take her away? Answer me, I yelled at her, and she quivered in fear because she knows what happens when I get angry. She opened her mouth to say something, but then closed it. You what? I want you to explain to me what exactly happened, I asked her in a calm tone. She explained everything to me. I balled my hands into fists in anger, knowing that those were Alfredo's men. I could feel my wolf tensing when he heard that his mate was taken by those bloodsuckers. My wolf had never been this troubled, not even with my previous relationships. We have to leave now, my wolf said. I rushed outside and hopped into the car. It was dark when I arrived at the hospital. I got out of the car and traced the last place where Katrina had been. I smelled her scent mixed with Sandra's and started following it. I stopped walking when I couldn't smell her anymore. Her scent stops here. They must have used a car, or they used their vampiric powers and teleported her. I went back to the car and drove off, heading back to the pack house. I won't let anything happen this time. If only I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have hired her or anyone else. I would have waited until I made sure there were no more dangers. I would have made sure that there were no more threats. We are werewolves. We know how to overcome dangers and threats. But Catriona is human. If something happens to her, I will be the one in trouble, as her employer. I hope she's fine. What worries me more is that I know for certain Alfredo and his men will not show her any mercy. She's just an ordinary human. She can't fight those heartless bloodsuckers. If something happens to her and the babies in her womb, I will never forgive myself. I skimmed my hand through my hair, feeling frustrated. I stopped the car in the middle of the highway, close to the pack house. I mind-linked someone to come and take my car inside. As soon as I got out, I shifted and sprinted into the woods. My wolf was the one controlling my body now, and I hoped he wouldn't do anything reckless without thinking. I surged through the dark woods, heading toward Alfredo's old house. I got a glimpse of the house and slowed down. You have to be careful with your moves, Mr. Gray, I told my wolf. I know, human. I'm the one who wants my mate more than you, he said. I want her too, because she's pregnant with my children, I grumbled. Let's not argue now. Let's get her first, my wolf said as he ambled at a leisurely pace toward the front door of the house. Something's very strange here. There are no guards. No one is around, I said. Yes, you're right. Not even any death sense, my wolf said. We entered the house and found no one. Where do you think they took her? I asked. To another place. He moved to another place, my wolf answered. What do we do now? I asked. We have to find his new place. I can't rest until I find my mate, he said with a sad tone. Why didn't you react like this with my previous relationships? I asked. He scoffed. Why would I? They were not my mates. They were your responsibilities, not mine. I needed backup. I tried mind-linking my men just in case something went wrong, and I knew something definitely would. It was a long distance. I wasn't sure they'd hear me, but I did it anyway. I ran for I don't know how long, but finally came to a stop when I saw a glimpse of a conical roof. I knew for certain. That was the house. When we were still friends, Alfredo and I used to talk about what we'd want in the future. He always wanted a massive house built like a castle. I didn't want to get too close. They'd smell me. I didn't want to be caught without a plan. I shifted back to human form for inspection. I walked a little closer but remained at a safe distance, avoiding the bunch of angry vampires. If I attacked now, I might expose myself, and I'm outnumbered. I might become their blood bank. There were like 13 vampires outside wandering around. They were all amateurs, and I could take them down at once. My plan is this. I'll go there and tear all their damn hearts out, enter the house, kill Alfredo, and get Katrina. By the time I finished inspecting, it was already dawn. The fucking house was big and had many guards. I had to do this carefully, without expecting any backup, and get Katrina out of there. Still under cover, I saw Alfredo and his witch talking about something. Their faces were serious. That face, when I see it again, it brings memories I don't want to recall. A moment later, they went back inside. Some vampires rushed into the house and came back with a lifeless vampire in their hands. What do you think they did to him to make him like that? My wolf asked. Not sure, I replied. Alfredo and his witch followed behind. He stopped and started talking to them. It seemed like he was giving orders. Then he hopped into a car with his witch and drove off. I could see a devilish smirk on my wolf's mouth. The moon goddess loves me, my wolf said. I smiled too, knowing this might get easier. Let's not celebrate yet. We're outnumbered and we don't know how many vampires are inside, I said. I don't care what you say, human. I want to get my mate out of that cyst, he said. It's a house, I corrected him with a little chuckle. Whatever, human, he replied. I waited a while before attacking. Then I shifted and sprinted toward the bastards. I pounced on the first one without waiting even a second. Then the second, the third, and the fourth, as I tore their fucking hearts out of their already dead bodies. I saw fear in this remaining one's eyes. They tried to back away from my growling wolf. I blocked their way before they could take off and tore their limbs mercilessly in the blink of an eye. After completing the mission as I planned, I turned and walked toward the front door, eager to meet Katrina. But I was knocked backwards before I even made it to the door. I instantly got back on my paws and tried again, but I was thrown back again with force, hitting the ground hard. The witch. It's a magic force that's preventing us from entering. The house is shielded, my wolf said. I slowly walked backwards and spotted a glass window at the corner of the house. I went to the window and my wolf became restless as we smelled her. She's right there. She's closer to me now, my wolf said, panicking. Okay, calm down. Let's think about what to do. I'm going to jump and pass through that glass. That's our only option now. I took a few steps back and jumped. Again, I was thrown backwards without reaching the window. Still on the ground, thinking of what to do next, a motherfucker jumped on my back and sank his fangs into my fur. I shook him off, sending him flying like a feather without even using much effort. I was now surrounded by fucking vampires with sharp fangs bared, ready to kill. And this time their numbers had grown. If Jerome were here, we would have attacked without hesitation. but I sent him to the school to solve whatever problems Principal Joey couldn't solve. Jerome is a very good fighter. He's no joke when it comes to combat. That's why I made him my beta. He can rule in my absence. Listen to me, Mr. Gray. We have to think of how to attack and finish them all, I told my wolf. But I knew he wasn't listening. He had full control now, of my body, my mind. I could only watch. He attacked most of them and killed them mercilessly. They knew they couldn't defeat him. They regrouped and attacked from behind. I felt a sharp pain in the back of my neck. One of them sank his fangs deep into my shoulder. My wolf used all his strength and hurled them off, but they kept coming back. He hurled them constantly. Then, he released me from his hold so I could take the lead. The bastards came at me again, but suddenly stopped when they heard a howl. I knew that howl, but I knew he couldn't be here. Could he? I spun around and saw them. Jerome and other pack members in their wolf forms. You fool! Aren't you supposed to be at the school right now? I asked him through the mindling. I was at school, but I had to come back when I heard the news. We are in this together, my alpha, he said, and winked at me with his black wolf eyes. I was touched by his words. Welcome to the party, buddy. Jerome and the rest of the pack joined me in the fight. I'm so damn grateful to have someone like Jerome in my life. I love him to the moon. Sometimes I forget I'm his alpha with the way he treats me, like we were nursed by the same mother. My men, including Jerome, began tearing those motherfuckers apart, ripping out hearts and limbs without needing my help. When I saw they had it handled, I turned back to the window where I had caught Katrina's scent. But before I could move forward, more vampires came marching in the direction I was headed. Their numbers were growing, but they were no match for us. I trained my men well. In my empire, there's no room for cowardly wolves. Everyone knows how to fight. Except for the newly transformed ones, of course. Most of the weaker vampires fled, leaving the courageous fools behind. One vampire snuck up from behind and grabbed one of my men, choking him and baring his fangs. Just as he was about to sink his teeth in, Sandra appeared, still in her human form, and drove a stake through his chest. The bastard was much taller than her, but she tiptoed and took him down like a pro. After she staked him, they both locked eyes, passionately. Seriously. Were they flirting in the middle of battle? When the fight was finally over, blood and body parts were scattered everywhere. I tried to re-enter the house, but it remained sealed. Everyone had shifted back to human form now, silently watching me. I asked Sandra to try entering. Maybe she'd have better luck. She stepped forward and was immediately thrown back. Jerome, your turn, I said. He nodded and stepped forward. Same result. Confusion and helplessness wrapped around me like chains. I wished Vanessa or Vivian were here. They could have broken whatever spell this was. Katrina, are you in there? Can you hear me? It's me, Sandra. If you're inside, please come out, Sandra called, her voice echoing into the silence. Why hadn't I thought of that before? I knew she was inside. I smelled her. We stood frozen, hoping for a sign. I remained in my wolf form. The beast inside me refused to shift until he saw his mate. He paced restlessly. Listen, Mr. Gray, I told him we need to shift back. If she sees you like this, she'll be terrified. Quiet, human, he growled. Why isn't she coming out? My wolf asked, now more anxious than before. Do you think she's really inside? Jerome asked. Yes, I mind-linked him. We need another way in before Alfredo and his witch come back. They probably already know we are here. She's there! Someone suddenly shouted. I whipped my head toward the door, and there she was. My heart shattered. She was pale, ghostly pale, blood trailing down her legs. Her hands trembled, her face, dirt-streaked, soaked in old and fresh tears. Her eyes scanned the crowd and lit up when they landed on Sandra. Sandra, you came for me? She asked in a faint voice. I thought they killed you. Are you alive? Not a ghost? They didn't kill me. That's why we're here, to take you home, Sandra replied gently. Jaden's brother? You came too? she asked, turning to Jerome. Jerome frowned slightly. Did she think Jerome was my brother? I supposed it made sense. He's always been by my side. He is my brother in everything but blood. I mind-linked both Sandra and Jerome. She saw your faces first. She trusts you. Since we can't pass through this magic wall, ask her to walk down slowly to us. Girlfriend, Sandra called gently. Are you okay? Can you make it down those scary-ass stairs? We're here to take you home. Where's Jaden? She asked. Of course she can't see me, I thought. Not like this. Why are you all naked? She asked suspiciously. Here we go. They told us to undress if we wanted to save you, Sandra lied quickly. Katrina gave her a doubtful look, but nodded. She took 3 shaky steps down, then froze when her eyes landed on me. I tried to duck behind my men, but she still saw me. There was fear in her eyes. Don't be scared, my love, my wolf whispered. I will never hurt you. I don't know what happened next, but in a heartbeat, she was rolling down those damn stairs. Gasps echoed around me. She tumbled until she landed right in front of me. I instantly shifted into human form and dropped to my knees. What happened? I muttered, my voice trembling. She's pregnant, for God's sake. I gently patted her cheeks. No response. Katrina, don't do this, I pleaded, holding her head carefully. Relief hit me when I felt her pulse against my fingers. Let's get her to the hospital, I ordered. Okay, Jerome, carry her and place her on my back the moment I shift to my wolf form. He nodded and gently laid her on my wolf's back. Some of you run behind me in case she slips, I commanded. Yes, Alpha, they responded. They all shifted and we sprinted toward the pack house. We arrived and I rode her straight to the hospital. The doctors took her off my back and rushed her inside. I tried to follow but was stopped. Alpha, you can't go in, a doctor said firmly. I was about to argue, remind him who I was, but Jerome placed a calming hand on my shoulder. Let them do their job, Alpha, he said. I nodded. I'm very worried, Jerome. If the babies don't make it, I want her to live. Just her. She'll be fine, Alpha. Maybe the babies didn't make it, but she will. Trust them. I'm heading back to finish some things, he added, giving me a reassuring pat before leaving. I waited, impatient, anxious. What were they still doing in there? I needed to know she was okay. Finally, the doctor came out, face tight with worry. How is she? I demanded. He hesitated. Alpha, I have good news and bad news. Start with the good. She's alive, stable. I exhaled hard. That's all that matters. I expected the worst. The bad news, he continued, is that she had a miscarriage. She lost a lot of blood. I clenched my jaw. I'd expected it, but it still hit hard. I understand. As long as she's alive, I said. There's more, he added. What more? I asked cautiously. Didn't you already give me both news? I apologize, Alpha, if I wasn't clear. The miscarriage, it was with one twin. I stared at him. What? One of the babies didn't survive, but the other did. What did you just say, doctor? Miscarried. One twin? I stared at him like he'd spoken a foreign language. My voice came out hoarse, raw. How's that even possible? Yes, Alpha. It's very possible to miscarry a twin, the doctor said gently. I didn't respond at first. I just arched a brow, my mind spinning, my heart dropping. I'd already imagined holding 2 small, warm lives in my arms, a boy and a girl, or maybe both boys, fighters like their father. Now one was gone, just gone. How's Katrina? I asked, my voice lower now. She lost a dangerous amount of blood, but she's strong. She survived, though barely. Frankly, it's a miracle the second twin made it. The way they tortured her, he shook his head, might be nothing to wolves like us. But she's human and pregnant. Her body was covered in injuries. When she wakes up, it may take time for her to feel like herself again. How long are you keeping her here? A few days at least. We need to monitor her closely. I clenched my jaw. What if I heal her myself? If I lick her wounds, they'll close. I want her to wake up without a single scar. I don't want her to remember their hands on her. Alpha, take me to her, I growled. He flinched. Give it half an hour. Please, her body needs time to stabilize. Any interference might cause complications. I exhaled heavily, fighting the rage in my chest. Fine, I'll wait. Sandra arrived at the hospital shortly after. I turned to her. You stay by her side. Don't leave for anything. Yes, Alpha, she said quickly, bowing her head, but I noticed the guilt in her eyes. Tears welled up. I'm so sorry. I should have protected her. I failed you. I failed her. No, I said, stepping closer. Lift your head. It's not your fault. And you know I hate seeing wolves cry. But she might wake up and ask for you. So stay strong for her. Stay close. She needs you. I left her at Katrina's side, trusting the hospital's tight security. All werewolves, all loyal. She was safe, finally. But I wasn't at peace. Jerome, I mind-linked. Watch the house. I've got unfinished business. Alpha, what are you planning? He asked. I'm your alpha, Jerome. Don't ask questions. Just obey. Stay. Don't even think of following me. Before he could argue, I severed the link, shifted into my wolf form, and took off into the woods. I was going to find Alfredo, and I was going to kill him. He touched what was mine, my Catriona. My wolf's tail wagged slightly at my possessiveness. She's yours. You feel it, even if you try to pretend you don't, he murmured in my mind. I know, I admitted, but I never wanted this. Not again, not after Sophia. I told myself I wouldn't love again, wouldn't let anyone close. I sighed deeply. She needs to go back to her family once she heals. She'll be safer there, away from me. I attract death and destruction. If she stays, she'll die, and it'll be my fault. No one will ever hurt her again, my wolf growled. Not while we're alive. Never. But what if killing Alfredo doesn't end it? I challenged. You saw what happened with Luciana, with Sophia. Sophia, my wolf growled darkly. She never loved you. She used you, manipulated you. If she'd found the sofa, we'd be ash by now. She was a traitor, a liar. She was my first love. And your worst mistake. Yeah, I know that now. And didn't you ever wonder, my wolf said, why her brothers were vampires and she wasn't? I wondered, I whispered, and I don't regret loving her. I regret trusting her, because I gave her everything, and she burned it all. I was quiet. So was my wolf. Why the silence? I finally asked. You needed it, he replied. I know what she did still haunts you. I said nothing more. My paws pounded into the earth, fast and angry. Then I froze. A scent hit me, sharp, strange, unfamiliar, and yet unmistakably mingled with Katrina's. What the hell? I sniffed again. It wasn't Alfredo. He couldn't mask his scent like this. This was something else, something new. Why is Katrina's scent mixed in? My wolf asked, confused. I don't know, but this isn't normal, I said, stepping forward. The air thickened. The scent grew stronger, almost suffocating. Then smoke. White, thick smoke swirled in front of me, forming a shape, a figure. I moved back 2 steps, instantly on alert, muscles coiled. When the smoke cleared, an old man stood before me. Pitch black skin, snow-white robes that draped like ancient sheets, hair and beard pure silver gray, untouched by age, eyes like frozen time. He smiled. Chills swept over me. Every instinct screamed to pounce. Who are you? I demanded. Eyes fixed, stance steady. I've come to warn you, Jayden Evers, he said calmly. Sorry, do I know you? I asked the old man standing before me. You may not know me, but I know who you are, and that's why I'm here. To tell you something, and warn you at the same time, he replied. I narrowed my eyes at him, wary. What shocked me more was that we were communicating through MindLink. but he wasn't a werewolf. I blinked, trying to regain composure. Whatever it is you want to say, it'll have to wait. Respectfully, I said through the link. I have unfinished business to handle. I moved to pass him, but his voice froze me mid-step. You don't need to go. Whatever business you were heading to, it's already been taken care of. I slowly turned, confused. What are you talking about? You'll find out very soon, he said. Then his eyes grew serious. The reason I approached you is about our girl, about Katrina. This is important, and I need you to listen carefully. My heart started pounding, anxious, uneasy, a storm building in my chest. I'm listening, I said. Before I say anything else, you might wonder who I am. I'm one of Katrina's Alpha. I turned to the voice. My warriors in wolf form were rushing toward me. What is it? I asked as they shifted back to human form. Beta sent us. You're needed at the hospital. Immediately. My heart dropped. Is it Katrina? Is she okay? We don't know, Alpha. We're sorry. Go back. I'll follow. They bowed and sprinted off. I turned back to the old man. Gone. The place he stood was now empty. What the hell? I muttered. Who was he? How could he mind link me? He's not a werewolf, not a vampire. And he said, Katrina. How does he know her? Mr. Gray, I called my wolf. Do you have any idea who he was? White robes, white hair, white beard, black skin. Was he a ghost? My wolf said. Don't start that shit right now. Don't tell me you're scared of ghosts, human, he teased. Shut it, beast. I shifted and sprinted through the woods, headed straight to the hospital. I would deal with Alfredo and his cursed witch later. Right now, Katrina was all that mattered. The guilt was eating at me, the pain she'd gone through because of me. She'd lost one of the twins, our child. I burst into the hospital. Jerome and Sandra were waiting. What's going on? I asked. Nothing serious, Alpha, Jerome said. The doctor just wants to speak with you. About what? He shrugged. I asked the doctor through the mind link. Is something wrong with Katrina? Yes and no, Alpha. Please come to the patient's room. There's something you need to see for yourself. I left them and headed down the hall. I opened the door and stepped into the room. Katrina lay unconscious, but her skin tone had returned. No more paleness. Her face looked peaceful, like she was just sleeping. The doctors must have done a hell of a job. We lost one twin, but at least she looked alive again. How's the baby? I asked. The baby is doing great, Alpha, but as I mentioned, she'll need to stay under monitoring. I nodded, silently thanking the doctor. Then a female doctor walked in, holding a tablet. She motioned the two male doctors to step out. Once the room was quiet, she approached me. Alpha, there's something you need to see. I stayed silent and waited. She handed me the tablet. It was a picture of Katrina. Her body, naked and bruised all over. My stomach twisted. What's this? Why did you take a picture of her body? That's what I wanted to explain, she said calmly. When we got her into the operating room, her body looked exactly like what you see here. We didn't expect any kind of healing. We were preparing to treat her ourselves. But when we took her out of the OR, within 30 minutes, every bruise was gone. She walked over to Katrina and gently untied her gown, revealing perfect, untouched skin. My jaw clenched. That wasn't normal. How did she heal so fast? I demanded. Did you put something in her IV? No, Alpha. We didn't use anything out of the ordinary. Then how? There's something special about her, she whispered. I don't know what it is, but I feel it, strongly. She's 100% human, yes, but she's not just any human. What do you feel about her? I asked. Why don't I feel it? She's different, I scoffed. She's just a stubborn human who acts like a mole sometimes. The doctor giggled. I shot her a look and she cleared her throat. Does she have any complications from the miscarriage? No, Alpha. Surprisingly, she stabilized faster than expected. Her body is strong. All we're waiting for now is for her to wake up. All right. Thank you, doctor. Leave us. She nodded, covered Katrina's body, and left the room. I moved closer and looked down at her face. So calm, so innocent, like none of this had ever happened. I reached out and touched her cheek. Her face lit up, a smile formed. Warmth radiated through her skin. Startled, I jerked my hand back, and just like that, the light faded. What the hell is going on? Who are you, Katrina? I left the room, closing the door gently behind me. I stood outside, staring at it. Was the doctor right? Was there something more about her? Or was I just losing my damn mind? Sandra, I linked. Come to the hospital. She arrived quickly, bowed, and sat on a nearby bench. Where's Jerome? Not sure, Alpha. I left the hospital and linked Jerome. Where are you? Pack house, in my office. I made my way there and entered his office without knocking. He looked up from his phone call, tired, pale. He ended the call and approached me. Something serious? I asked. No, Alpha. Everything's under control. Just the Shantons committee. They'll be here in a few days. I'll be here. No other appointments. I stepped closer. You look terrible. Get some rest. No, Alpha. Jerome. I cut him off. You've been doing my work and yours. Take one damn day for yourself. When I vowed to serve you, I meant it. No matter the obstacles, you, the pack, come first. I know, I said softly, but still, get some rest. You're not a robot. He smiled faintly. When was the last time you shaved? I chuckled. Not sure, but thank you for being the beta this pack needs, for being my brother. We'll handle the Shantons, he said. Especially their annoying-ass Alpha, I added. We both laughed. I patted his shoulder and walked out the back door. Then I shifted and ran into the woods. I needed air. I needed answers. And I needed to find out just what the hell Katrina really was, but before that, I needed to face Alfredo. I came to a halt the moment Alfredo's castle came into view. Something felt off, too quiet. Not even a whisper of life stirred from within. Of course it's quiet, my wolf sneered. We killed all the bastards. Still, something pulled me closer. I moved forward cautiously, then stopped cold. There, lying flat on his back, pale as death itself. Alfredo? I sprinted toward him. His body was still, face drained of color, eyes half open like they'd frozen in shock. Alfredo, once a man who wore cruelty like a crown, now looked hideous, empty. I shifted into my human form, crouched beside him, and studied him closer. What the hell happened to you? I muttered. Are you dead? It didn't make sense. Vampires, especially ones like him, don't just drop dead like this. Not without a stake through the heart or some brutal battle. But Alfredo had always relied on his witch for power, not his strength. She was the one who helped him torment, kill, and create unwilling monsters. My gaze flicked around the area and froze again. Her. The witch was lying on the ground a few meters away, her body trembling, blood soaking the hem of her dress. She clutched her belly like it was the only thing anchoring her to life. My stomach churned. The sight was revolting. I left Alfredo's corpse and approached her. When her eyes met mine, they lit up with desperate hope, like I was salvation itself. I'm glad you came, Alpha, she whispered. I'm not your Alpha, witch, I growled, my voice like steel. Clean your tongue. Please, take me to your girlfriend, to Catriona. I grabbed her by the throat, yanking her off the ground. Her breath hitched as my grip tightened. Why would I take you to her? I snarled. To finish the job? To make sure she's dead this time? Is that it? No, she gasped, struggling against my hold. I want to apologize. I let out a cold, mirthless laugh. You? Apologize? What, did hell freeze over? Please, I'm in so much pain. I feel like I'm dying. Then use your magic. Heal yourself. I can't, she rasped. My powers, They were taken from me. My brows shot up. Taken? She nodded weakly. We were trying to kill her. Like we did to your... Stop! I roared, my voice shaking the walls around us. One more word and I'll rip your damn throat out. She blinked slowly, trying to speak. If only I knew she was... But the sentence was never finished. Her hands fell from her belly, her body slumped to the side, and just like that, life drained from her. She turned pale, just like Katrina had been that night. I stumbled back, nearly falling. My mind spun. First, that strange old man who spoke in riddles. Then Katrina healing herself, like death hadn't even touched her. And now, this. What the fuck is going on?
Katrina's point of view.
I'm going to kill you, human, along with that dog's child growing in your womb. I'll make sure no one ever finds your corpse. Not even him, the bastard hissed. My blood boiled. Rage swelled in me, but my wrists were bound tight. There was nothing I could do. Not yet. If you lay another hand on me, I snarled, baring my teeth, I'll kill you first. You'll be dead meat before you even try. He and his men burst into laughter, loud and mocking, like I'd just told the best joke of the year. That's a good one, human. Real funny. Let's see if I become dead meat. He stepped closer, lips curled into a sneer, and brushed his hand against my cheek. I spat in his face. Don't ever touch me, you disgusting piece of trash, I shouted. I hate you all. You all deserve to die. His expression changed in an instant, from amused to murderous. You brought this on yourself, you little bitch. He snapped his fingers, and one of his men stepped forward, grinning like a devil. Without warning, he slammed his fist into my stomach. I doubled over, gasping. Stars burst behind my eyes. Terror gripped me as I held my belly. Why would you do that? I whispered, broken. Why would you hurt my babies? My babies? I shot upright, drenched in sweat, my breath coming fast. My hands flew to my stomach. Was it just a dream? She's awake. Call the doctor. Sandra's voice rang out in panic. The door flew open and someone stepped beside me. Ma'am, can you hear me? Can you see me? A male voice asked, but it echoed in my ears like I was underwater. Katrina, look at me. It's me, Sandra. Her voice brought me back. My vision cleared and I saw the worry in her eyes. Katrina, are you okay? I gave a slow, small nod, still trying to make sense of where I was. Hospital, sterile white walls, machines, Sandra, doctors, no Jaden. Of course he wasn't here. When his brother and Sandra came to rescue me, he didn't show up, not even for his children. If I didn't matter to him, surely they did. I lay back down, one hand over my belly, staring at the ceiling. Sandra, how are my babies? She glanced at the doctors. Katrina, you're still weak. You should rest. We can talk later. I'm going to be a mother soon. How can you ask me to rest without knowing if my babies are okay? My voice cracked. What kind of mother would I be if I didn't care, especially after what happened last night? If you won't tell me, let the doctor speak. Katrina, your body is still recovering. Please. I'm not weak, Sandra, I snapped. Stop saying that. I know my body. I don't feel pain. I don't feel weak. I feel angry. Grief-stricken, yes, but not weak. I turned to the doctor. I'm asking again. How are my babies? A heavy silence fell. I'm sorry, ma'am, the doctor said quietly. We couldn't save one of the twins. The words hit like a dagger to the chest. What do you mean? I asked, barely recognizing my own voice. You were badly injured, the doctor continued. Your uterus couldn't support both fetuses. One didn't make it. Tears burned my eyes. My throat clenched. What had I done to deserve this? Why did they turn to violence? Why did my baby have to pay the price? I crumpled, burying my face in my hands. Loud, ugly sobs tore through me. And worse than anything, the man who promised he'd be part of our lives didn't even come. Did Jaden take back his word? Now that I've lost one child, would he tell me to leave once the other is born? Would I survive that? I couldn't stop crying. Sandra, take me home. Please, I don't want to be here. I hate hospitals. You're not recovered yet, a female doctor said, her voice firm but gentle. I looked at her. She'd been stealing glances since I woke up. I'm perfectly fine. No wounds, no pain. I feel energetic. What more do you need to see? Without waiting for a reply, I yanked out the IV from my arm. Pain stung, but I ignored it. I got up and headed to the door. Katrina, please don't do this, Sandra begged. Stay until the alpha comes. I turned to her. Where was he when I needed him? Tell him to go to hell. Gasps rippled behind me. Katrina, Sandra Whisper shouted, stunned. I grabbed the doorknob, but the female doctor spoke again. Please, I'm a doctor. You might feel fine, but your body needs time. Just a few more days to make sure your baby is safe. I paused, staring at her. You're a doctor. Then look at me and tell me, what's wrong with me? Can't you see I'm okay? I took a step forward, my voice trembling. Yes, I lost a baby. It hurts more than you can ever imagine. But what do you want me to do? Lie here and fall apart? No one answered. Sandra wept quietly. I turned to her. Why are you crying? We care about you, Katrina, someone said softly. I shook my head. You don't understand. I hate hospitals. They make me feel like I'm already dead. I stormed out, straight into Jaden's brother. Where do you think you're going, Miss Katrina? Not even you can stop me. I glared up at him. Where's your brother? I need to speak to him. He was quiet for a few seconds. Why was I so short? Why did everyone look at me like I was a child? My mom was tall, my brother's tall. So it had to be my dad, whoever he was. Damn genetics. Do you mean Jaden? He finally asked. Do you have another brother I don't know about? I snapped. No, just him. I stepped closer to size myself against him. My head barely reached the middle of his arm. Jaden was even taller. When we kissed, when we did those things, he always had to bend down to reach me or lift me up. His brother cleared his throat, snapping me out of my thoughts. I flushed. What's wrong with me? Fantasizing in this state? Miss Katrina, what do you think you're doing? He asked, clearly confused. I stepped back. Sorry, I'm going home. Sandra followed me like a shadow. I locked myself in my room and ignored her knocking. I needed to talk to Miss Olivier, but my phone had been taken, probably destroyed, another piece of my life stolen. I curled up in bed, blanket over my head. My thoughts drifted to my little brother. I hadn't even spent the night with him. He begged me to stay. I didn't. If I had, maybe none of this would have happened. This is my fault. All of it. I cried. For my baby, for my brother, for everything. Eventually, sleep dragged me under, until I heard a knock. Sandra, please, let me sleep, I mumbled. It's me, Katrina. Open the door. Jaden. I bolted upright and opened the door. He stepped in. Why did you leave the hospital? He asked. I ignored the question and gestured for him to sit. Why did you leave when you're not fully recovered? He asked again. I sighed. I'm tired of repeating myself. I said I'm fine. Are you sure? His voice softened. He looked drained. Guilt and pain clung to him. I swallowed hard. Jaden, there's something I need to say. He didn't respond, just stared, unreadable. Jaden, I said louder. No reaction. Mr. Jaden, I snapped, pulling him out of his daze. He blinked and focused on me. Your eyes. Have you been crying? I hummed in reply. I'm going to refund you all the money you gave me for this pregnancy, I said. He stiffened. Why? Because I want to go back to my world, give birth to this child, and raise him or her without you in our lives. I waited quietly, bracing for his reaction. I had just told him I was returning the money and leaving this house. For good. Jaden's expression didn't flinch. Don't forget you signed a contract 2 months ago, Miss Katrina, he said, voice cool and unwavering. You can't, and you won't, leave this house before you give birth to my child. There it was, the cold inevitability I'd feared. I swallowed hard, my heart aching in my chest. Yes, I said bitterly. I remember signing it. I remember everything. But don't you dare forget that I nearly died because of you. His brows drew together, but I pushed forward, rage fueling every word. One of my babies, our baby, is gone. And it's because of you. Those monsters who abducted me, they did it to get to you. They thought I was your girlfriend. And I didn't blame them, not entirely. I was pregnant with your child. How did they even know that, Jaden? How? I didn't wait for an answer. I don't care what past you have with them. I don't care about the blood on your hands or the enemies you've made. But I suffered for it. I'm still bleeding from it. And you stand there, talking about a contract? Jaden raked a hand through his hair. He looked exhausted. More than that, haunted. The dark circles under his eyes were stark against his pale skin. His stubble was thick and uneven, like he hadn't bothered to shave for days. But he still had that undeniable presence, that quiet power. It terrified me now. I know you've been through hell because of me, he said quietly. And I'm sorry, truly. But I can't let you leave. It's not safe. Not safe? I echoed with a bitter laugh. How can you be sure it won't happen again? I'll protect you, he said firmly, even if it means surrounding you with 100 guards. I don't want bodyguards, I snapped. I want my life back. Even when I was broke, I wasn't afraid to walk outside. I stood up to grab my phone, intending to send him the money. But then I remembered I didn't even have it with me. Before I could sit back down, Jaden stood abruptly and seized my hand. Katrina. What? I snapped. His fingers tightened around my chin, lifting my face toward his. This isn't about the money. Then what is it? I demanded inwardly, not trusting myself to say it out loud. I didn't want him repeating that contract like some sick mantra. He released me suddenly, backing away like I'd burned him. His eyes searched mine, unreadable. I asked him if he was okay, but he didn't respond. Instead, he stepped toward me, slowly, steadily. My breath caught in my throat. I stepped back on instinct, until the backs of my knees hit the bed and I tumbled onto it. Before I could scramble away, he was there, towering, silent, intense. His hands seized my ankles, halting my retreat. Jaden, what are you doing? My voice trembled. He didn't answer. He climbed onto the bed. Jaden, don't, I cried. I just had a miscarriage. Please don't. He caught my wrists with one hand, pinning them above my head. His other hand trailed to my lips, brushing them softly. I could feel his breath on my neck as he inhaled deeply. Mine, he growled low in his throat. No, I whimpered. Jaden, don't do this. I'm begging you. He gripped the front of my shirt and tore it open. I sobbed, trying to twist away. Jaden, I'm still bleeding. Tears blurred my vision. I screamed. I slapped him hard across the face, hoping to wake him from whatever madness had taken hold of him. I won't leave. I swear I won't. Just stop, please. But he didn't seem to hear me. His eyes, oh God, his eyes were no longer blue. They had shifted, glowing a strange bronze brown, wild and terrifying. What's happening to you? I whispered, petrified. He growled again, ripping off my bra like a predator bearing its prey. The sound was monstrous, inhuman. Jaden, please, I shrieked, trying to kick him. He blocked me effortlessly. You're my mate, my woman, he hissed, voice twisted with something primal and dark. I thought I was going to die. But then, suddenly, I threw up. Once, then again, and a third time, directly on him. He froze. The growling stopped. His eyes flickered back to blue. And then he jumped away from me as though struck. He clutched his head, breathing hard, horror dawning on his face. You didn't have to do that, he muttered to himself, as though he hated what he had almost done. I lay there, trembling, still stained with my own sickness. He staggered toward me. Katrina, are you okay? Did I hurt you? Are you? Don't touch me, I screamed, crawling off the bed and bolting into the bathroom. I locked the door behind me, pressing my back against it as I sobbed. I'm sorry, his voice came through the wood. I didn't mean to hurt you. I swear to God I didn't. I'll get Sandra, he added. I said nothing. I heard his footsteps storm away, and then faintly, his voice muttering bitterly, "This is all my damn fault." I stayed curled on the bathroom rug for a long time, staring at the tiled floor. Was he really going to force himself on me? In this condition? I slowly got up, planning to run a bath, but remembered I couldn't. I was still bleeding. So I showered instead, letting the warm water wash away everything. When I stepped out, I dried off, lotioned my body, dressed in jeans, a shirt, and a sweater. I stared at myself in the mirror, forcing a smile. I won't be weak. Not now. I have to be strong for the baby I still carry. I need to speak with Miss Olivier. I need to know how Edrine is doing. Jaden had said he'd send Sandra, but she hadn't come. I decided to look for her myself. I took the elevator down and wandered the house, searching. I finally spotted Godmother approaching with concern etched on her face. "Katrina, darling, are you okay?" "I'm fine," I said, forcing a smile. "You smell lovely," she said warmly. "And I've missed that smile." "Don't flatter me, Godmother. Have you seen Sandra?" "I think she was by the pool earlier. Want me to call her?" No, I'll go." "All right, dear. Be careful." As I stepped outside, a thought struck me. Why didn't I just ask her for her phone? I turned back, intending to catch her, but she was already gone. I sighed and kept walking. I was almost to the pool when I saw Jaden with a few other men. I stepped forward to speak with him, but then froze. My blood turned cold. Jaden was shifting, his body contorted and cracked, bones rearranging in sickening rhythm. Fur exploded along his skin, his face elongated into a snout. I gasped loudly. He heard me. They all heard me. The beast, towering, feral, turned its head toward me. And his voice echoed in my head. "Katrina." I stumbled backwards in horror. I had never seen anything like this in my life. It wasn't just a wild animal, it was a massive wolf, at least 3 or 4 times my size. It trotted toward me, its eyes locked on mine, and I screamed at the top of my lungs. "Katrina, stop screaming." I heard Jaden's voice in my head again. "What's happening to me? Am I losing my mind?" I squeezed my eyes shut, hoping I was trapped in some vivid nightmare. Please, God, let this be a hallucination. Let me wake up. But when I opened my eyes again, my breath caught in my throat. Jaden now stood before me, completely naked. "Katrina, please," he said gently. "Calm down. Don't panic." "Don't move," I shrieked, stumbling back. "Don't come any closer. Why are you naked? You were fully dressed just now. I saw you turn into that thing. A wild animal. No, a wolf." My voice shook as my mind reeled. "Are you shifters? Is that what this is? Like in books and movies?" I shook my head violently, trying to make sense of it. No, this has to be a dream, a bad one. I'm a Twilight fan, sure, but those things aren't real. Werewolves, vampires, that's all fantasy, fiction. Panic took hold of me. I had to get out of there before I became their next meal. Did he hire me to be eaten? My heart pounded. If Jaden was one of them, then he knew I was human. So why would he choose a human to be his surrogate? Unless, my breath caught, unless they need a human pregnancy for a ritual, a sacrifice. My hands trembled. He wasn't there at the hospital when I miscarried. And now he tried to force himself on me. I was so stupid to think there could ever be chemistry between us. There's a saying, wolves and humans are not friends, and now I know why. If he's a wolf, I need to run, fast. But before I could take a single step, someone grabbed me roughly by the wrist and yanked me toward the house. Whoever it was, he was far too strong for me to even fight. Panic surged in my veins like fire. I don't know where I got the strength, but I tore myself free from his grip and bolted toward the house. I had only one plan: get to my room, lock myself in, and find a way to escape. When I burst inside, Sandra, Godmother, and several others stood frozen in place, eyes fixed on me. They filled the room with tension so thick it nearly choked me. Katrina, please listen, Sandra began. There's nothing to listen to, I yelled in fear, my voice cracking. I made a beeline for the elevator, desperate to get away. But before I could reach it, a pair of arms wrapped tightly around me from behind. I screamed so loudly that several of them covered their ears. Be careful with her. She's pregnant, Godmother warned urgently. I struggled with every ounce of strength I had, but the man's grip didn't budge. She's human, he grunted, but she's got some energy in her. Let me go, I cried out. You're all monsters, wild animals. But then, nothing. My voice caught in my throat, my limbs went limp, I couldn't move, couldn't shout. He picked me up and slung me over his shoulder like I weighed nothing. They carried me downstairs, into the basement. The door creaked open, and I was placed in an old, creaky chair. My head drooped against a worn cushion, and though my eyes and ears worked, my body was frozen, as if trapped in a trance. They formed a circle around me, joined hands, murmuring incantations. I was in the center, paralyzed, terrified. This is it, I thought. I'm going to die here. At least I saved my brother's life. If I have to go, let it be for that. The basement door swung open, and Jaden entered, flanked by two elderly women. He knelt before me, eyes filled with something unreadable. I'm sorry, Katrina, he whispered, but I have to do this. You're always sorry, I screamed at him silently. How is sacrificing me for my own good? We're not going to hurt you, he said, as if reading my thoughts. We'd never hurt you, but we have to erase your memory. It won't hurt. Just stay still. Tears streamed down my face. I didn't even try to stop them anymore. You weren't hallucinating earlier, he continued. Everything you saw was real. We're werewolves, Katrina. I was going to tell you everything after you gave birth. I didn't expect you to find out like this. He sighed. We don't reveal our kind to humans, not unless we trust them completely. And even then, it's dangerous. You knowing the truth makes you a target. There are other supernatural creatures, vampires, witches, things you've only heard about in stories. And if they find out you know about us, they'll use you to get to me. They'll kill you without hesitation. The ones who kidnapped you, they weren't human either. They want me dead. I trembled so hard that I lost control of my bladder. The warm stream soaked through my pants and ran down my legs. Humiliated, I dropped my head in shame and closed my eyes. Mom, I whispered weakly, please help me. When I opened my eyes again, Jaden was staring at the floor, avoiding my gaze. Everyone out, now, he roared. The room cleared instantly. I'll get someone to bring you clean clothes, he said softly. I shook my head, ashamed. He turned to leave, but one of the old women grabbed his wrist. Alpha, we don't have time, she said. This needs to happen now. The clothes can wait. Jaden hesitated, then nodded reluctantly. The two women approached me. One knelt and stared into my eyes. She held the gaze for some long, good seconds, then shot up, a terrified look on her face. She exchanged a glance with the other woman. I'm not doing it, she said, voice trembling. You're a powerful witch, the other snapped. She's human. This shouldn't be hard. She's not human, the first started. Stop babbling, Vanessa, the second woman hissed. Vivian, don't hurt her. She's 7 weeks pregnant, Jaden warned. I'll be careful, Alpha, Vivian replied, though her tone was anything but comforting. Vanessa looked back at me with sorrow in her eyes. Please forgive me, she whispered. I don't want to hurt you. Don't punish me afterwards. Vanessa, enough. Vivian snapped, her glare sharp enough to cut. They intertwined their fingers and began chanting in low, urgent tones. Suddenly, my head felt like it was splitting in two. Pain knifed through my skull and my stomach. I gasped, my vision blurring. Just before everything went black, I saw the two women recoil from me, staggering back, stunned. Then, in perfect unison, they gasped and asked, Who are you?
Walk alone in the pouring rain, trying to drown out all this pain. Every step is like a heavy stone. A shadow falls, but I'm all alone. Let the rain wash away my pain. Take these tears, let them fade. In the storm I'll find my way, but tonight just let